The latest Scam U looking at new sophisticated schemes to get consumers to wire money out of their accounts. Our consumer correspondent Becky Worley has details on how it's done and how to protect yourself. Good morning, Becky.
Eva, good morning. It's so maddening. Criminals impersonating banks using the threat of, get this, scams to trick people who are just trying to do the right thing. What's so frustrating, if this type of scam involves wire transfers, it's nearly impossible to get the money back due to a law that was written back in the 1970s.
Courtney Black says she received a text message appearing to be from her bank, Chase.
I got a text message that said, "Did you authorize a wire transfer?" I texted back no. 2 minutes later, I get a phone call from a 1-800 number, and I answered it.
She says the caller identified himself as a Chase employee, and he would help her cancel the fraudulent transfer.
He told me, "You need to enter this account number," because that's the account it was going to. Section by section, he was telling me how to do it.
Black says she saw all the money in her accounts disappear, but that the scammer promised this was all a part of the wire reversal process.
The next morning, I kind of got like a gut feeling something wasn't right. And I called Chase, and they were like, "No, you were scammed."
In the end, she says she lost more than $11,000. Black says the scammer knew her date of birth, the last 4 digits of her social security number, her Chase account number, and her balance.
There's a lot of information that is on the dark web.
Scott Augenbaum, a former FBI agent, says stolen passwords and usernames from other website data breaches could be how Courtney's account was compromised.
The cybercriminals are banking on the fact that 66% of the population is using the same password for mission-critical platforms.
He says that hacked user data can be used to log into other website accounts if the same usernames and passwords are reused. To fight this, some banks send you a code anytime a transfer of money is initiated, and he says that's what the scammers targeting Courtney were after, and she gave them the code. But many advocates say there should be more safeguards. The Electronic Funds Transfer Act and the Truth in Lending Act protect certain types of money transfers, but not all.
If a consumer disputes it with the bank or the creditor, then they have to investigate, and if they determine it's unauthorized, they reimburse the consumer. But there's a huge loophole for wire transfers. Those are excluded.
Sanchez Adams says she and the National Consumer Law Center have advocated for Congress to change these laws.
And it just seems so crazy to me that all of these transactions that are not wires are protected by federal law, and wires are not protected.
For now, Chase has denied Black's claims, telling GMA these types of scams are heartbreaking, and we urge all consumers to ignore phone, text, or internet requests for money or access to their computer or bank accounts. Legitimate companies won't make these requests, but scammers will.
Now, it does seem illogical that credit card, debit card, and home equity transfers are protected, but wire transfers aren't. That said, Chase says the best way for consumers to protect themselves is to never share account information or those one-time passwords or codes, never click on suspicious links or grant anyone remote access to your phone or computer. Also, my advice, if you do one thing to protect yourself today, make sure your financial and banking apps all have unique passwords. Now, it's hard to keep track of those, so download a password manager like LastPass to help you keep track of them. It is a lot of work to protect yourselves, guys, but gosh, these stories are heartbreaking.
Sure, it's good advice here as well. Scammers always seem to be one step ahead as well, but important information, Becky. Thank you so much.